Hello, you're tuned in with the E-Courage Services Show here at Spreaker.com. I am your host, Encouragement Javi. The title of this episode is Being a Strong Woman. Again, the title of this episode is Being a Strong Woman. Also, it is how to become a strong woman. So we'll get right into the show. Being a strong woman. What is being a strong woman mean? Everybody have different ideas and views or perspectives. From my perspective, being a strong woman means being honest with yourself of your shortcomings, not giving in to the belief that we have to follow the crowd and dress like only those whom we hang around. We don't have to just dress like those whom we hang around. I believe that being a strong woman is being honest with yourself of your shortcomings, not following the crowd, because when we follow the crowd, is that really being a strong woman? Depending on whom we following and their ideas and their perspectives, or if we're just only hanging around those people that think like we do and act like we do, is that really being a strong woman? We have to think about that. Think about that for yourself. And if that's being a strong woman for you, a part of who you are, then that is your idea of who being a strong woman is, and there is certainly nothing wrong with that. However, it is important to understand that being a strong woman have a lot to do with what is inwardly going on with us. In other words, this is something we are constantly having to work on a daily basis. Inwardly, we're continually striving to make peace with ourselves daily. This is a part of being a strong woman. Becoming a strong woman is one who is striving for peace, who's trying to continually make peace with themselves daily. It does not mean that you're trying to beg someone to have peace with you or beg someone to become your friends, because everybody is not going to be your friend. And in fact, some people that once were your friends are going to fall out of friendship with you when you start developing more on your inner self about why is it that I believe the way I believe. Should I change this or change that? Because sometimes inwardly, the reason we are at chaos with ourselves is because we tend to take on other people's values and beliefs and ideas and not that of our own. And being a strong woman is looking at ourselves inwardly, continually striving to make peace with ourselves daily by saying, are these my values and beliefs that I believe, or have I chose to take it on what other people think that I should believe for myself? You have to choose, what do you value? You are a person. Aren't other people a person as well? Let them take on their values. But you need to take on your values. Look at your belief system and how it's set up. You might want to get a journal and write down, why is it that I believe the way that I do? And is it causing inner conflict with myself? Another part of being a strong woman is looking at these, being honest with yourself, and trying to find out where you are at with your life, emotionally, mentally, financially, spiritually, mentally, because it's all very important. Our mental and emotional aspects help makes up who we are, and our thought life. And our thought life has a lot to do with us becoming and being a strong woman, or not becoming or being a strong woman. So, inwardly, this is the most important thing about being a strong woman, is number one, inwardly, we want to become and strive to become a strong woman, which is We are continually striving to make peace with ourselves daily. Excuse me. Number 2, you want to lead a calm, quiet life, minding your own business. And when I say calm, I simply mean a pleasant life, meaning you're not drawing attention to yourself, but you can look beautiful. Some people look beautiful by going to the thrift store and they find some very nice, perhaps brand new clothes for just $2. It doesn't have to do with how much things cost. It just has to do with inward beauty. But I think it would be okay to look beautiful on the outside as well. And as well, calm meaning as you're bringing peace with yourself and trying to create more peace in your home and more calmness and quietness in your home, and you're learning to lead in a calm, quiet way and minding your own business and tending to your own family and your own finances. You'll be able to take better care of yourself mentally, emotionally, socially, physically, and spiritually, and focus much better. And in return, you'll see that you will have more people respecting you for what you're doing, because we have so many women today that are in other people's business or trying to take care of other people's business, and they're not taking care of their own. Or they think they're taking care of their own and they might have everything in order, and if they do, they're going about things the wrong way and trying to help correct people. Instead of loving them and praying for them, they're wanting to point out everything they're doing wrong. That's not leading like a strong woman would lead. Being a strong woman takes some good decision making and sound choices. And you have to be in tune inwardly, meaning you are continually striving to make peace with yourself daily. You're leading a calm, quiet life, minding your own business and focusing on what is going on with you, on how your mind is working mentally, emotionally, socially, physically, and spiritually. Guiding and leading and directing your children if you're married, helping your mate, not trying to control everything or give maybe them ideas about the way they should believe, perhaps with somebody you don't like, because sometimes we can make or break our families and talk them into believing things that really aren't true simply because they love us, and we can take advantage of that. Teaching and training our children. Financially, we want to establish ourselves. This is part of being a strong woman, and developing relationships that will help us grow inwardly and outwardly. It's very important that as we're being a strong woman, becoming a strong woman, especially us who are single parents, that we learn how to understand more about our finances and what does this mean, how to get our finances in orders, because sometimes we don't even know anything about checkbooking, or we can overdraw sometimes and not understand the importance of why we should be more apt to understand about our bills and our finances, and why it's important to save. And if you're at a stage where you cannot save right now, why it's important to try to budget instead of always going by our feelings and saying, but my child want this right now so I can get it, or I want this right now so I can get it, and only thinking about the now. When you have decided to fully become a strong woman, you begin to understand that you need to put your feelings aside, because sometimes our feelings, we can allow it to get played upon us, meaning that we can allow our feelings to drag us in this direction, that direction, all over, simply because we don't have our feelings intact like it should be. So also there is, if you're interested in budgeting and wanting to learn more about budgeting, if you go to www.cnet.com, on their website, they have lots of budgeting software to how to create a budget. You can even put in menus to how to create menus, because some people don't know this, and this is the area that I had to work on years ago, and I'm still working on it. I've gotten better at it, but I'm no means perfect at it, and I'm probably going to be working on it to the day that I pass for the rest of my life. As well, when you're teaching and training your children, you want to make sure that you are loving them emotionally and mentally and socially and physically, no matter what size they are, or sometimes how they're thinking. Sometimes children are not taught how to think. In other words, how it's important to think on one thing at a time, just like they're not taught about a lot of finances and why it's important to have our financials in order, or sometimes about how to build emotional relationships or social relationships. We just automatically think that it's something they should know, and if they don't know and they're not taught, sometimes they can grow up destroying some things emotionally and mentally, just like we have. I wasn't taught about a lot of social relationships, although I had good, strong relationships with my stepfathers and some friends, but I didn't know how to get along with those who didn't like me. Even though I knew that I could to agree to disagree with them, I thought that they would have to always be on my side, or I had to always be on their side. And being a strong woman is a part of learning how to still respect the person, whether they agree with you or not to instill or impose your belief on them, because they have a belief too, and would you really like them to impose their beliefs on you? That's part of being a strong woman and learning how to lead calmly and quietly, because your actions speak more sometimes than your mouth does, because a lot of times we can say quite a bit of things out of our mouth that we don't mean, but our actions and our behavior says a lot and can mean about 10 times more than what we are actually saying. But it is important that we watch what words are coming out of our mouth, because our words can hurt our family. Our words can even hurt ourselves, because we can be our own worst critics as well on ourselves. So, being a strong woman inwardly is continually striving to make peace with ourselves daily, leading a calm, quiet life, minding our own business, and focusing our minds on working on ourselves mentally, emotionally, socially, physically, and spiritually. Teaching and training our children, financially establishing ourselves, and developing relationships that will help us grow inwardly and outwardly. And what I've found is, with relationships that help me grow inwardly as a person, and then outwardly as a person, which means my self-esteem and the confidence that I have, I started listening to Les Brown in around, I want to say maybe between 1998 and 2001. But there's a lot of other people I listen to too, but he's a motivational speaker. And also there are people that I socially may stay in contact with and respect. They're not like, I don't want to say a friend, because we're not close. They're more like an associate, but they're more like a person that would encourage